Good evening, Bickers. How's everybody doing? I'm Scott. That's Day. That's Rob. And that's Mr. Ryan O'Regan, who's been good enough to fill in for the last 2 weeks. By the way, do not worry. I did not, in fact, insult you by the word Bickers. That's Latin for actually generosity or nice. So in this case, it's a compliment, not an insult. And we are back with Tales from the Film Set again. How's everybody doing? You guys doing okay?
Yes, Milky Way all day, every day.
Good, dude. Oh, dude, Milky Way's rock. I mean, both the galaxy and the snack food. Yeah. So.
Doing well. Had a great weekend, Royal Rumble weekend, which we'll talk about on Wednesday. And got to check out a pretty decently acted movie in Air that was recommended to me by Rob on the last episode. Rob, did you get to watch anything over the weekend that was suggested by maybe someone else?
No.
You son
Off to a good start.
I'm
so glad I'm back.
I'm
so glad I'm back. I missed this.
Was there something I was supposed to
No,
watch?
I'm going to pause you too. Ladies and gentlemen, I will not be on Jabronis United on Wednesday due to I'll be at the premiere for Mr. and Mrs. Smith presented by Amazon.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Oh, all right.
Very cool.
Was I supposed to watch something this weekend?
Yes, even I knew you were supposed to watch. I saw the chat and I wasn't even paying attention. You were supposed to watch something over the weekend. Yes.
Oh, no, I have not had the chance. I'm sorry. I thought you were saying for the next show to have it watched.
Okay.
And his name is John Cena.
All right.
No. I'm simply talking about the fact that Scott, did you watch last week?
I caught bits of it here and there. Yes.
All right.
By the way, great job. Thank you for handling all that.
Oh, wait.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. No, I need to know where to watch it. I know what he's talking about now. We made a deal that if I watched 2 hours of a person, that he would watch. I can't remember what the thing. I've slept since
Air.
then.
You wanted me to watch Air about the Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
He did his homework.
This
but
is Milky Way.
Rob needed to watch 2 hours worth of George Carlin stand-up because he did not know who he was.
Yeah, which I'm a man of my word. I just got to figure out how I can watch it.
Dude, you know what? I would be fine with just pulling up George Carlin on YouTube. That's
Okay.
good enough. That would be fine for me.
Okay.
Just any of his material, voting, 730 words, anything Carlin related, just throw it up on YouTube. It's the easiest, fastest way, and I think you'll get a good mix of it. You don't have to go crazy with it.
Okay.
The fact is, Amazon does have more of his catalog available. You can find things on
I've
YouTube.
got like a 10 DVD set upstairs.
Later in his life stuff, like complaints. I would say watch Complaints and Grievances. That's personally the one that I first watched before I got into his catalog. And that's the one he did right after 9/11. So if you can watch that one, good. I would also say Your Old Disease, because that's when he's really in his old man era.
Voting is Meaningless was one of the most perfect ones he ever did because it summed up my attitude completely. And I get bitched at for so much for actually my beliefs. And it's like, well, George Carlin said it.
Which is fair.
Watch all 10 times in a row.
But yes, I will make sure that he does his homework.
I will.
Because if he doesn't do his homework, he's not allowed back on next week.
Good.
I'll make sure by next episode I have it watched. But so you did watch Air?
I did, yes.
Did you enjoy it?
I'd say it was well acted, but again, it's one of those things where it's like
I'm waiting for him to say something.
Pretty much disassociate yourself from the plot of the movies. Otherwise, if you focus too much on the plot, it's going to make you like, why is this so dramatic? Why is this being done in such a way? Air is a finely acted movie. I will say Matt Damon really does put on a great show, as does Affleck, as does what's her face? Viola Davis.
Mm-hmm.
But you go into the movie for the acting. You're going in for that. You're not going in for
You go for the backstory. At least that's why I went and watched.
I think
it.
Matt Damon.
But the thing is, it's pretty much the same typical backstory of anything that's ever been successful.
Yeah.
So if the Jordan was never successful, you'd never hear the story.
Yeah.
So
well,
I think what's that also is the fact they got Matt Damon and Ben Affleck.
It's that they took it.
Oh, well, they did a good job. I will say Affleck for directing this thing and everything. It went pretty decent. But outside of that, I was like, meh, yeah, okay.
I don't know. I like the story, and I like the fact that you could have a movie and that's about Jordan, but wasn't focused on Jordan. I thought that was an interesting perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to see the backstory of how Nike actually
based on a true story.
Successful
But
without.
that's the thing, though. It's not a story about Jordan. It's a story about Nike. It's a story about the company. It's a story
without
about
Jordan, you don't have Nike.
The guys who put on the shoe. In the same way, it's kind of like the Tetris movie. The Tetris movie wasn't about the game. It was about getting the rights to the game and having that develop.
Yeah. So I promise by next episode we will have 2 hours of Carson, and we'll have the other show that we already talked about that I know we're not talking about in Cash or Trash, but it's something that'll be in theaters next month, and I will have that watched.
All right.
Okay.
I can't promise I can binge watch all 3 seasons because they are an hour a piece, and I think there's 10 episodes each season, so it's going to be a little hard to push with my work schedule, but we'll have at least some of the show watched.
I think at least he gets an understanding of who Carlin was. I will be sufficient with that myself.
Oh, no, that I'm for sure. I was talking about the Chosen. That was another thing we talked about in the group chat.
Okay.
That's going to be in theaters for season 4, which I think is a bold move, but we'll talk about that one the next week's episode.
But for now,
after Rob has done his review on the beginning of that season.
Yes. And how was your week, Scott?
Active, because right now basically we're inside a week of the MMA event. So the pay-per-view has been going a little crazy with all this. The MMA basically.
What MMA event would that be?
Danger Zone 2. Tentatively right now, 16 fights on the docket across about 5 hours, starting at 7 p.m. On Streamcom Combat. You can find out more information over there. The weigh-in, by the way, is going to be available Friday night at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So you want to see who the fighters are and everything like that. It is going to be 100% available. You can just watch it right there.
And make sure you use the code word Buddy for 10% off. No, just kidding.
Well, for the pay-per-view, Buddy will work. Buddy or Danger Zone, either one. So,
but Kyle.
Or Kyle. Let's not overcomplicate the fan base here on this. But yeah, like I said, bottom line is I've been in all go mode with all of this stuff, and it's been hectic. So again, thank you again, Ryan, for handling everything the last couple of weeks. But regarding this week, however, it is now basically the end of the month, which means it is our monthly Cash or Trash. We have 4 movies right there, 4 budgets, 4 question marks about whether these movies are going to make money or hilariously and epically fail at making money. So
yes, which I already know one that's going to be trash. Well,
we're going to start off here, I think, in this case, the Bob Marley biopic, One Love.
Cash.
Just straight up on that. He's not wasting time on that. The budget on this, by the way, is coming in roughly about $80 million for this film.
Cash.
Now, we're not totally going in chronological order in this case because this is being released on February 14th alongside another member of this list. But at $80 million, it would have to make bare minimum $160 for us to consider it cash. Ryan, we'll start with you. Do you think this is going to make cash, or do you think this is going to be trash?
I'm voicing along with Mwaba here, man. It's like this is going to be cash. I mean, it's the right time for a movie like this. Definitely, you have this ongoing trend of musician documentary movies that have pretty much been hitting. Elton John, Queen, Elvis, and now we're getting Bob Marley, the man of the Rastafarians himself. Pretty much one of those guys who was not only just a musician, but also a man of the people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say no better time is there than, say, right now when these kinds of movies are being noticed, as opposed to, say, maybe like a decade or so ago when you had like certain movies on musicians that, they got critical acclaim, but no one really paid attention to them in the theaters.
Back off the heels of Harry Potter and Twilight movies. Different era now.
Yeah.
I mean, people are focusing less on like movies that are based on books and more about the actual people, which I hope the trend continues. If this goes well, I want to see even more artists really get their time to shine. Imagine if we got a Madonna movie. Woo!
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay, so who would you have play Madonna though? I mean, is Margot Robbie too easy? Is that too easy?
No, ew, no.
No, Margot Robbie.
I mean, that's the go-to answer, and I almost feel like we got to come up with an answer that's more challenging than that.
No, but I mean, Madonna.
Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga.
She could work. Maybe a safe for you could possibly be available too, depending. I think it might be a stretch, but I think it's doable.
You don't think Margot Robbie's a good choice, Dave?
I think
no.
She's got
Margot Robbie's the
voice.
easy choice, and that's what I'm saying. It's too easy.
I want to see. I want to make sure I got his name right. Kingsley Benadir.
See why not?
Yes.
Okay.
Who some of you may know from Barbie. Some of you may know him from Secret Invasion.
The critically acclaimed Disney Plus series.
Yeah, no, let's talk about that. But I can
That's
say
my favorite out of all of them.
His character in that series did come with a certain amount of dignified aggression, as I like to call it, where he was real prim, real proper, and he still would gut you. Seeing him be able to flip that into this very compassionate, caring, forgiving, and heartfelt gentleman, I like the range. I like what he brings to the table.
Are we in a society that would accept that right now? Because the era of peace, love, and friendship is not something 2024 really promotes a lot of now.
Screw if we accept it. It's needed.
It's needed.
Oh, I know it's needed. But it's funny because if you look at like PSAs from the 1990s, they're talking about friendship, unity, togetherness. Now it's talking about no hate, which is vastly different than love.
Yeah.
So as a result, a song called, starts with one love, one, I still think it'll be Cash anyway, but I think the message may not be as well received now in a society that is more predisposed to anti-hate versus love.
Perhaps, but you know what? That's the beautiful thing about doing a movie that's about a musician. Even if the story may go down, the music is what's going to take over.
Yeah.
Even case in point, behind the scenes here, people, before we even got underway, when Scott came on, he was the one humming, "Don't worry about a thing. Because every little thing."
You don't own the rights to the song.
Right.
Well,
this is a good test for Saturday for me. But
we don't
copyright it for singing. But guess what? It's Bob Marley.
Exactly. It's and even on really crappy covers of it.
Care about the one love message.
Yeah.
The minute one of his songs hits on, you're invested.
You know what? And you know what? As I think about it, with that, when the song's playing, I wonder if the audience is going to sing along. I wouldn't be surprised. I would suspect. I'm gonna, maybe there'll be YouTube videos out there of people singing along in the audience. I think it'll happen. Maybe I'm wrong on this one.
I'll be saying
I don't see why not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you do with not that these are good examples, but with the Disney movies, with the live actions, people were singing to the songs that they could. And why I'm saying they're not a good example is because they changed a lot of the lyrics in the live actions. But there was
a solo.
But yeah, I mean, I don't see why people wouldn't sing along, especially with, if it's a song that everybody loves and stuff.
Sure.
So I don't see why not.
I can tell you right now, if I am in my movie theater and We're Jamming comes on, and I don't start smelling somebody lighting up something in the back of the theater, experience is ruined.
I think that's kind of just a given in all movie theaters now, isn't it? I mean, when I saw One Goal Wins, I don't know who lit up, but it was there for that one too. I mean, this is American Samoa.
It's legal, so
yeah. I didn't know American Samoa got down like that, but I can guarantee you,
the small island probably get a little bored.
And I will be. So that'll be like almost like how they used to have it back in like the 1950s or whatever, where it was like Shaco-Vision or Smell-O-Vision, where it's like they would pump things through in the theaters, or they would have buzzers on the seats to make it more of an immersive experience. Give me that with One Love. Let me just push them cush through the theater and like through the air vents. And
I don't think they'll have to. I think there will be audience participation on that.
Well, yeah, in the poorer theaters, sure. AMC should have no problem though.
But in this case, cash, day. Ooh, he's thinking on this one.
Nah, I'm just messing. Cash. Cash.
Yeah,
I was gonna say day.
See, this is the first time that all three of them got shocked.
Yeah.
It's not shock, but it's like I will have to say we probably did take over the conversation where, you know, they should be spouting off whatever he wants to.
Yeah, but this time I just let y'all reign supreme and go right ahead.
We'll let you go with the next one to even it out.
Yeah,
whatever the next one is, I'll let you go first. But we have not gotten Rob's answer on this yet.
I said, remember on the first one, it said
You
cash.
did say that. I'm sorry, my bad. Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
I'm cash
last
all the
one.
way.
So
I'm not. That doesn't mean I'm going to go see this in theater. But if I get the chance and somebody wants to go, I'll go see it. But I know 100% it's going to be cash.
All right, moving on to the next one. This is a curious one in this.
The
case.
only
Good.
quick thing, the only thing that would make it not cash is if for some reason it doesn't go to all theaters. If it doesn't go to a lot of theaters, that would make it not cash. And I'm just pointing that out there. But majority of these movies will go to all theaters. So
I think it'll probably go to a lot. It's going to go to a select market in certain cases where it's going to be played more often. Certain, shall we say, probably more often played in blue states than red states. Is my
because
feeling.
actually, if I'm not mistaken, and I'll have to go recheck my screenshot, I don't think the Bob Marley movie's at my theater.
Yeah.
So actually, I won't be able to see it if it's not in my theater.
And also, I believe you are in fact a red state, which further adds my argument. But anyway, so
is that Samuel Jackson?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, no, this is star-studded.
Yeah, but it's also
John Cena. Can't see him.
It's also $200 million budget.
Ooh. Trash.
Well, okay. Well, first, let's just get into the movie,
please.
Well, no, we said Dave was going to get into it first.
Oh yeah. I would say please.
I need to know the synopsis of this film because it does look fun.
Ryan.
Okay, hold on. Let me bring it up.
All right. So in the meantime, yeah, we have a pretty good cast with this thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So
who's in the movie besides
an introverted spy novelist is drawn into the activities of a sinister underground syndicate. Essentially, what's happening here is Bryce Dallas Howard is playing a novelist who writes this spy series called Argyle.
Mm-hmm.
That's being played by Henry Cavill now. Some of the stuff we're going to be seeing in this is very much like like visual articulation of her books, of her stories.
That was the movie Stranger Than Fiction with Will Ferrell years ago?
Yeah.
A similar idea?
Similar, but not close.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is,
that movie.
Her books apparently gave a plot that actually happened. So now there are spy organizations that want to capture her and continue her writing for their purposes.
Mm-hmm.
So Sam Rockwell is sent in to retrieve her from people who are trying to kill her.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like one of those, I guess, like a Romancing the Stone, Jewel of the Nile sort of thing, where it's like you have this couple in real life, and they're going on this adventure that was only talked about in stories, but now they're living it.
So the characters she writes are real characters. She finds out as real characters in real life.
Apparently, yes. There is a real Argyle that she was not aware of, or at least there'll be some version of that. But as far as concerned, this is all just story making on her end.
So basically, like Stranger Than Fiction,
but with a spy twist instead of Will Ferrell supposed to be dying at the end of that first movie or that movie.
Stranger Than Fiction is kind of like reversed, where there's a narrator telling his story, whereas here we're seeing both how the story goes, how real life is, and then they combine.
Right. So, as much as I want to do see this film, I think it's poor timing and poor location when they put it out. Like this should be out more like maybe springtime, summer. So, and what's the budget?
200 million. Probably
Trash.
a lot of that going to payroll, including John Cena, Sam Rockwell, Bryan Cranston, Samuel L. Jackson,
Sophia Patella, Dua Lipa.
Yeah, there's a lot of money probably going to budget on this.
And mind you, this is Matthew Vaughn. This is the same guy that did the Kingsman movies, which
so there's
very
credibility behind
flashy
it.
and glowy. But even though, aside from the first one, the later two movies in that series didn't really make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I said trash, only because of where they put this film at.
Yeah.
If they would have done it like spring or summer, then it probably would have made its budget. But
yeah, I'm on the fence. I think it's going to be really close either way. Now, Rob, you said trash on this, correct?
I said trash.
You led with trash, I think, actually.
Just for the fact that it's at the 200 million, and it has to make 400 million. I mean, not saying it's not possible, but I think it's like Day said, the time that it's coming out. I don't know. I don't see too much hope for this. Because you can put a stacked cast, but that doesn't mean it's going to automatically be cash.
And then here's the other thing: you got it on February of all days.
February 2nd, so literally this week.
Yeah, and that's close to Valentine's Day. You really think? Matter of fact, no. Super Bowl.
No,
Super Bowl's not until the 10th and 11th.
But it's the All-Star one that comes.
It is All-Star weekend and the Pro Bowl.
About the All-Star game, please.
True. Here's the thing: the NBA All-Star game people care about. The NHL All-Star game they kind of care about. The NFL Pro Bowl, trust me, no one gives a shit about that. Not even the players.
It's a consolation prize.
They don't even play anymore. Now it's a skills competition. That's how far it's gone down. The NBA, okay, fine. The NHL is smart because they have each division kind of going at it like a semifinal, finals type thing. So it's interesting from that regard. But yeah, the Pro Bowl has been pretty much irrelevant for at least 20 years, which is kind of a disappointment.
I personally am going to say catch. Now, yes, it might be something that plays off better later in the year, but it is the first big budget like adventure movie that we're getting of 2024. There's got to be a first for that. So might as well get it now. Get it in a month where a lot of people, I think, are going to be more focused on what happens for Valentine's Day, and then maybe nothing else for the rest of the month.
Mm-hmm.
There's not too much coming out in February. What's coming out is noteworthy, absolutely. But it is going to have like a fresh 2 weeks before it really has any competition. So as far as I'm concerned, as long as the overseas value of this does well, which considering the cast, I think it will, I don't see that $200 budget, $200 million budget being that much of an issue. My concern is going to be, is this better than the last couple of Kingsman movies? Or is it going to be more of the same? Because if it's more of the same, that's what's going to hurt.
Now, in my case, I have basically a thought. I'm going to say cash on this as well, but close. But I also have a question. Looking at the stock value right now of both Samuel L. Jackson post Secret Invasion and Marvel's is too, and also the stock value of John Cena, who may have dipped a little bit with the last couple of Fast and the Furious movies. Is this something that is a concern for them a little bit from the perspective of they need a hit?
Well, John Cena had the Peacemaker show that did really good. That's getting
but that's ancient history at this point.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's getting a season 2, so therefore.
But when it shows up, fine. But in the meantime, Fast 9, Fast 10 didn't do that well. Secret Invasion and Marvels obviously didn't do well. So both of these guys are watching themselves drop down the ladder a little bit. Do they need this one to get back to quote unquote relevancy?
I think a lot of people need this one, to be quite honest. I mean, not only that, Henry Cavill, who we know is now done as Superman, and it's done as The Witcher. He's not going to have anything major until his Warhammer thing kicks off.
Mm-hmm.
So he needs something to really grab onto as well. Sophia Patella, I mean, as great as she might be in Matthew Vaughn's movies, the thing on Netflix, what is it? Harvest Moon or whatever that thing is, that's not doing her any help right now either. And you also have people like Ariana DeBose who could probably use it. Bryan Cranston. Catherine O'Hara is just there for the funnies.
Oh, sure.
And
Warhammer's coming up. Highlander
Yeah.
will probably be well after that. Yes, Rebel Moon. Thank you,
Rebel
Moon.
Moon. Yes, thank you.
That's why I like having Moon, man. He
Good,
checked.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. But yeah, with a lot of big names that are needing something to latch onto in the meantime, that hopefully means that they're going to push promotionally up the wazoo. You know, they're going to need all these people talking this up in order for it to do well. So hopefully that means a lot of people are getting on board and saying like, oh yeah, no, I need this as much as you do. Let's get into it.
Sure. But all right. So you think so in this case, basically they all pretty much need it, with the exception of like you said, Catherine O'Hara, maybe even Bryce Dallas Howard. I think she's safe though.
No, but I mean with her as the lead, you know, it's
Mhm.
like you hope that she's at least, you know, galvanizing enough to draw the story around and not necessarily relying on all these big flashy names popping up for however long they're going to be in the movie. Because
Here's the thing: I don't think she's strong enough to carry a movie on her own, but she's a great support or director also. But as far as a lead goes, not so much. I don't think.
right, but the thing is, some of these bigger names, either they're not going to end up making it to the end of the movie, or they're not even real. We don't know who's real and who's not in this thing. So I mean,
shout out to the characters like, we're gonna make it, we're gonna be fine, and then promptly die, like everything I've ever done in my life. Everything I've ever done in my life is basically that.
And I know where you're coming with that, Ryan, because we all saw that in the Suicide Squad movie they did the second one. They said all these big names were going to be in it, and they got offed within the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Oh yeah, no, I was
Bryan Cranston, Godzilla. It's like Bryan Cranston's in Godzilla. Kill him off too.
Yeah,
I was so yay.
I would say you're right. This movie needs it, but depending on if the story's actually good, then it could be success. But I'm still saying trash because of the fact that it would need 400 million, and I just feel like it's too early in the year for that.
All right.
Same thing.
Well, I mean, for us single people, we're not spending any money on Valentine's Day, so I might as well spend it on this.
Yeah,
I mean, if you can afford it, no.
I guess me and Scott are going to be,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to figure out what to do with Valentine's Day too. But
I think I got an idea already, but it's already. I just gotta.
You can go watch Bob Marley on Valentine's Day.
Rob, shut up.
Kidding.
No, meaning don't you.
You were saying, you know what?
He has a fro. Let him have it.
Lisa Frankenstein. What's that about?
Lisa Frankenstein.
Or Frankenstein.
Yeah, it's basically a reverse sort of Frankenstein, where she revives her dead boyfriend. But speaking in the department of, being directed by well-known people who are their fathers, we went from Bryce Dallas Howard to, in this case, Zelda Williams, son of the late Robin Williams, or daughter of the late Robin Williams. So Zelda, of course, also named after basically the princess from the game series. Comes in at a budget of 70 million.
Yeah.
You said 70 million?
70.
That's reasonable. And this is probably the one movie in the month that's really like a date movie.
Yeah, I could see it making this money on Valentine's week.
Mostly, I'm going to call it second tier cast. It's like, Catherine Newton. Weirdly enough, Cole Sprouse showed up in this. That's a name I haven't seen in a while. He was the kid in Big Daddy 25 years ago.
You mean
right? But he's also been Jughead on Riverdale.
Yeah, I know, but it's funny to see that name again. But
from Sweet Life and Zack and Cody.
Yeah, but so it's got a little bit of a safer cast to it, I guess.
So what's the plot of this? Basically, it's
gender swap young Frankenstein. She basically tries to resurrect her dead boyfriend.
Rage love story about a teenager and her crush who happens to be a corpse. After a set of horrific circumstances bring him back to life, the two embark on a journey to find love, happiness, and a few missing body parts.
What's it rated?
Probably R.
What?
Probably R, I'd imagine.
No, it's PG-13.
Is it really?
Okay, so you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say cash on the basis of this is going to be a romantic film, and they're going to build up most of their budget on Valentine's weekend or week.
Probably. I mean, it comes out the week before, but I mean, when you have someone like Zelda Williams and you have it written by Diablo Cody,
also true. Did Juno.
That itself gives it a pretty decent pedigree for it being a rom-com that one could. Here's the thing: rom-coms haven't been playing well in theaters. If anything, you get them probably more on streaming than any place else. But if it's going to be Valentine's Day, and this does have like a little slight horror aesthetic under it, I can definitely see it playing up well in the States.
And I agree with Ryan on this because the whole setting. If you remember a movie called Warm Bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
That's the vibe I get with this film. And yes, I really feel as though this will make his budget, but it's probably going to be the second week, which is Valentine's weekend.
Mm.
Yes, Rob.
I say it's cash for the simple fact that Cole Sprouse is in it. No, and I'm legitimately saying that because of the fact that Cole Sprouse has become a big name, obviously with the Disney Channel, but with the whole Riverdale cast, and he was in 5 Feet Apart. I would simply go see this because of the fact that Cole Sprouse is in it. So I'm going to say cash. I'm going to go see it.
When and if it ever shows up in your theater.
No, I'll see if this was on that. I have the screenshots. I just can't pull it up right now. If it's in my theaters, I will go see it. But we do get a lot of movies, Scott. Don't be dissing my theater.
You know what? We have been kind of going down the same road for the most part all the way through. So just for funsies, I'm going to say trash on this.
Okay. And I know Scott's taking he's taking score.
I am. Yeah,
Yep.
So right now I've got the breakdown on it. I mean, listen, a big part of me thinks that it will that I'm going to be wrong on this. Needing 140 million. However, at the same time, I also just don't know if the theaters are doing that well right now. I mean, I have the numbers.
How is Mean Girls doing?
Oh, it's trash. Mean Girls is at 83 million.
Third week in a row, it's been on number 1.
It is currently number 2 right now at 83 million.
And who's number 1?
Beekeeper at 103.
Woo!
So in this case, looking at those numbers, let me see if I can zoom that out just a tiny bit.
Wait for it.
So, I mean, those are not really spectacular. I mean, granted, it's January, but those aren't really spectacular numbers there.
But isn't usually January a slow month anyways for
But
box office?
still, they're pretty weak. I mean, Book of Clarence, my God,
And Wonka's still been making some money.
I don't know if Wonka's in here at all.
But I think even after Renee Rapp was on Saturday Night Live, I think that's pushed the narrative that we want to see more of her, and thus we want to see more of Mean Girls.
Mm-hmm. It's number 1 in Ryan's heart. Aww.
Oh.
Dude, I hate to say it. Like, the original movie was one of the best dates I ever had. So, I mean, I can't necessarily get the appeal of Mean Girls.
So basically, you're waxing nostalgia and got some member berries going on.
Oh, yeah, Ryan, look at that.
Anyway, moving on.
Ryan, look, don't turn around.
So, Ryan, you never finished with Young Frankenstein.
Oh, no. I definitely think it could be cash. It's one of those things where I personally think that if I'm going to do anything for Valentine's Day this year, that's probably the movie to see that weekend as a date if you're a couple. If you're an older couple, I could see you wanting to go ahead and maybe see something like Bob Marley, One Love, especially if you're someone who grew up with that music. But anyone younger than that, this would be the go-to date movie for you.
Which I already know who I'm asking out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Margot Robbie?
I wish. Hey, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate
and then there's this one, too. Wait. Sorry, Ed. I got it. I know you got it. Okay.
Let him.
Lex loves balls and apparently, ginger throwheads here. I'm secretly Margot. I'm secretly Margot Robbie.
I'm telling you, Rob, man, you rock the
By the way, his name is Rob Manning. You can find him, by the way, on Instagram at Batpool97. Look for the Buddy the Elf. Just saying, if anybody on Twitch wants to basically follow him and send him messages at 3 o'clock in the morning.
So basically what he's saying is, if you want to stalk me, he just gave you the reason to stalk me. Woo!
I'm not going to put that other comment up, though.
Yeah.
We'll leave that other comment for ourselves.
All I can say is, despite the curly hair, as far as I know, he's not Jewish. So
No.
No.
Dude, it's a live-action Kyle Broflovsky.
Yeah, I see why you didn't put that other comment up.
Okay, you saw the other comment. Yeah. You know.
This is a family-friendly show.
Oh, cool. Yes. Yes. I'm
But
pretty.
he's taken.
I'm pretty. By the way, I also have a Bat Moose shirt on, which is a bar up in Maine.
I passed out.
They, them, Zem, Zer wants me too.
the beauty of Twitch streaming.
Oh God, yeah, God love it. I love this. I love my life, man. By the way, if you want to see me, I'm going to throw this out there. You might see me this week on FX's Capote versus the Swans in the first episode, because the dialogue that I have and the scene that I have alongside Treat Williams is expected to air this Wednesday. January 31st. So set your DVR for that. You might actually see me show up in there with lines, with dialogue, and with this funny story that I will only tell after the fact that Ryan already knows.
Yes.
He's taken too.
Yeah, I'm taking.
You know what?
Kind
of shotgun blasting the options out there if anybody's available. I feel kind of bad. Nobody said anything about Ryan yet.
No, I'm perfectly fine with that. Someone's called Left Flow Ball. He's already after you three. There's not a doubt in my mind.
Take that mustache ride. Take that mustache ride.
I am not concerned. You all can get it.
I don't know.
No, thank you.
I'm taking. Thank you.
I would like to know. By the way, segment to the next movie, it's going to be trash because Sony projects are trash.
Wait, we don't know.
Let's just make this proper on this as a proper intro when we ultimately destroy this movie. Okay, so Madam Web comes in at a cool 80 million or so, 70 million, 80 million, which isn't bad. However, the movie was originally, while it is part of the Sony, Spider-Man universe, apparently originally was supposed to include Andrew Garfield reprising as Spider-Man, but was dropped instead for the whole movie centering around Dakota Johnson as Madam Web. This, I believe, it's 70 million. It's not bad, but I don't think anybody knows about it or cares about it. So I'm with Rob on this one. I think it's going to be trash.
And another thing to go with what you were saying, Scott, is this movie here, they've already announced that it's going to be its own separate universe. It's not
the Andrew Garfield thing, but
it's not in a Spider-Man universe. It's its own universe, kind of like you have your different multiverse.
It's part of the grand MCU, that I understand, but originally was supposed to be part of the Andrew Garfield universe, which I think would have been a genius move to bring him back here.
You would have.
That is the dumbest. I don't know who was smoking what and what Bob Marley movie they were watching at the time. But dude, if you had the opportunity to bring back Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, you do it.
If you had a cameo of Andrew Garfield, this would have made the 140. It would have made it like that.
You pay him 10 million at most, maybe even 2, and dude, you bring him back in, you throw him in the teasers. You're at, people get their ass over there. Look what it obviously did with No Way Home.
Yeah.
And that was only rumor and speculation. You throw Andrew Garfield into the trailer, you're done. But and as a result, trash. You guys go.
Hey, you first.
No, Ryan, you first.
No, you first.
No, you go.
I really don't want to. You go first.
I really assist. Come on, Ryan.
Oh, wait. So, as far as this being the first comic book movie of the year, I don't like the idea of that.
The trailer looks trash too, by the way.
Well, I'm not necessarily upset with the trailer. I maybe am a little upset with the casting because I personally think Dakota Johnson is as emotive as a plank of wood. like Kristen Stewart has more range than she does. So
I know a trailer will get more views than the entire showing of this movie.
Right. And here's the thing. I was like, I'm trying to look beyond Dakota Johnson. I'm trying to look at the whole of what we have here. I'm trying to look at the fact that we are getting a Madam Web in general that possibly going to help bring together all this Sony multiversal stuff that they've been doing with Morbius.
That's what you do, yeah.
And
it's Morbin time.
I am also trying to look at the extended cast of these Spider Women that we're getting. We're finally getting like a Julia Carpenter Spider Woman, and the fact that you have Sydney Sweeney in that role, that does something to my mind. And plus Isabella Merced, Emma Roberts, Adam Scott, Jill Hennessy. You have a great little cast here that's not necessarily like pushing boundaries or necessarily offsetting anybody. So I wanted to do well because I think you have a lot of talent in there that's like maybe not fully recognized as being good talent right now, but could be in the future or could be with the right project. And maybe this is the right project for them. I don't know, but
I have an additional thought when you guys are done.
Basically, for as cheap as this movie is, which let's face it, for anything Spider-Man oriented, the fact that it's under 3 digits is a miracle.
But you don't got any big cast members, so I mean, it makes sense why they were able to keep it lower.
I think there's another reason it's going to fail, but go ahead.
That too, yes. My hope is that what we've seen in trailers and the bevy of different Spider people will lead to some surprises, will lead to some Easter eggs, and that this will have like more of a good word of mouth. As like, okay, I know you guys have been soured on Sony stuff lately, aside from Across the Spider-Verse. Since we have to wait a year for Across the Spider-Verse to come back to us, let's work with this one. Let's try to make this movie as surprising and as noteworthy as possible for the fandom. Because this has a lot more potential to do that without necessarily focusing on the special effects of one character. I am tentatively going to say, well, actually, no, hold on.
He's definitely going to say something.
I'm going to have to say trash, actually.
Okay. You were struggling with that one.
The thing I just brought up, I just realized, in order for any of the other movies that we've talked about to be successful, something's got to fail.
Also, this goes right up against the Bob Marley movie, too.
Yeah.
So there can be only one.
So, yeah, if I want the other things to succeed, I know this is very time paradoxical. If I want the others to succeed, Madam Web's going to have to fail. I do believe that it will have like some positive word of mouth, and maybe in the long run it'll do decent, but it's not going to be a blockbuster.
Or it may not be talked about.
Sony needs it to be.
There's another reason I think it's going to fail. 2 parts, but Day, go for it first.
All right. I want it to be cash,
but
the only way this is going to be cash if I know the direction that they're doing it. They're thinking, okay, you got a women empowered film that focus on comic books and stuff. Now it may pull it off, but, and I'm saying but, you're going against Bob Marley and some of the other previous films. This one should not have been placed on Valentine's Day against Bob Marley.
Unless it was just being dumped.
Exactly.
Yeah, and if you realize it got like an announcement like less than 3 weeks ago that this movie was even dropping. So
they might just be dumping it and moving on.
It was a dump, or I called it a dump movie, because you don't just announce 3 weeks before, oh hey, this movie's coming out next month.
Yeah, because what they're doing is, because it's Valentine's Day on the 14th, they're thinking, hey guys, This is a perfect date movie, but you're also getting your Marvel fix
No, it
in the
isn't.
process.
But it's not a Marvel film. It's a Sony film.
Well, it's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yes. It is confirmed to be part of the MCU. Yes.
Yes.
As part of the grand multiverse. Yes.
I'm reading things I don't like.
What?
Well, on the one hand, it's being directed by what's her face? S.J. Clarkson, who has done well. She was a director on Jessica Jones. She was a director on The Defenders. She was a director for Life on Mars. So she has a great catalog of her work on television. Not a lot on film, but a great amount of work on television that makes me think, okay, she's done a lot of things that have been female centric. She can probably work with this particular cast and be able to get the best out of them. Then I look at the writers.
Okay.
And at least Matt Sazama has worked on Power Rangers, Gods of Egypt, Morbius, The Last Witch Hunter, Dracula Untold. Not the best.
Yeah, I was like, Claire Parker doesn't have much.
So, again, you're really going to have to hope that the female synergy on this works well, because I don't know if it's necessarily going to happen.
That is exactly why I think it's going to fail, if I may.
Oh.
I'm aching for this, by the way. This movie, it comes at a point where guys are tired of going to see female-centric movies because a lot of them trash guys in the process. You know, we're basically, by bringing up the Mary Sue-esque character, you're basically bringing down their own gender, who by and large is the gender that watches comic book movies, statistically speaking. To take it a step further, this movie has already been ridiculed by people like Critical Drinker, Nerdrotic, Endymion, Mauler, people like that. I'm drawing a blank on some of the other ones, but the point being is that they have already gone to town and feasted on this movie. So the fans themselves are probably going to be more interested in their response than they are in actually seeing the movie for themselves. So as a result, a lot of the fans are just going to be like, you know what? I'm just going to wait for, for Gary to come out with his own video on this and just trash it and save myself the $20. I think we're in a society right now where guys are prepping for, we're going to be trashed as a gender in this movie. And it started with Captain Marvel, and it's continued with a lot of other stuff. And I think as a result, people don't really want to go see a movie that's going to trash them.
And this is
right, but the Marvels didn't really trash men.
The Marvels didn't, but Captain Marvel did. With the whole basically, female empowerment. There's one thing to have female empowerment, like we'll use, Sarah Connor, like Terminator 2, or Ellen Ripley, or what? No, she never gets a lot of love in this. Mariska Hargitay for SVU. She, when you look at powerful female characters in leads, Mariska never, Olivia Benson never really gets, mentioned the way she should. But by the way, Dr. Mariska Hargitay now, by the way, she got a doctorate. I was there when she made the announcement. It's kind of funny. But in this case, as a result, there's a difference between those kinds of female empowerment and what you kind of get now, where you get the ones that bring down, your fan base. The Kathleen Kennedy centered ones that I think hurt the brand as a whole. And as a result, guys are predisposed to be like, you know what? I'm not going to go watch this. I got other stuff I can do. I can play games on my phone instead and save $20. Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. Yeah, the first Wonder Woman movie was good. Second one had underlying rape messages of a guy, but nobody ever seemed to talk about that, except like the Nerdrotics and the Critical Drinkers and things like that. So as a result, guys, like I said, are predisposed to believing this is going to be that movie. It may not be, but they're going to go into looking at this movie and say, prove to me it's not.
How did Wakanda do that?
Wakanda
Forever.
You mean as far as like box office, or how to do that as far as like?
No, somebody put in the comments that Wakanda Forever did the same thing that you guys are talking about right now.
Yeah, Wakanda Forever was pretty much female heavy, anti-male. Not as bad as some of them, but
they went off the comic books because she does become, the Black Panther.
But here's the thing,
and they had no other choice.
No, well,
they had to work with what they can. I mean, obviously, him passing away was a big part of it, but
right.
irrespective, go ahead, Day.
But yeah, and that's what Ryan just said. It was the fact that he passed away, and they had to run in and make a bunch of changes at the last minute. So yes, there was going to be hiccups. There was going to be some way where they had to adjust.
It's a little bit of a free pass to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they didn't even film the movie when he passed. They didn't have any chance of filming because of COVID.
But then when you also look at stuff like Rings of Power, which is apparently on a delay right now after massive reshoots, these kind of things are the stuff that guys are now looking at and being like, I don't want to deal with this. Critical Drinker alone has 1.9 million subs. So he has a lot of clout when he says this movie hates men.
Oh, my question is any of you three, I know definitely not Scott, but are any of y'all going to go see this movie when it comes out?
I don't go see movies in general anyway.
That's why I said Scott doesn't count because Scott doesn't go see movies.
I mean, AMC A-list pretty much makes me
they couldn't continue with they couldn't continue with the story. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I have to see it.
But do a review. I mean,
I might go see it. I'm not going to say 100% I will, but I might go see it based upon, the situation or what occurs. So if if it leads me to go see it, then I'll go see it. If it doesn't lead me,
I will say, if you do a review, that'll determine if I go see it. Because when you did the review on Spendables 4, that told me enough I needed to know to not go waste my money.
Well, that's the beauty of it. I get to see it, and I don't really have to pay any money when I go to the theater, so I can do that.
Yeah,
well, that's good.
And I go to the premieres. I get invited to premieres, so
lucky.
Yeah, the comments on the official trailer are also, by the way, trashing the snot out of this movie too.
Whatever, Brian.
Suffice it to say, I don't think it's going to do that good. I think all four of us actually said it's going to trash. So we could all be completely right or completely wrong.
We're saying it's all going to trash, but I think we're all saying it's going to trash for different reasons.
Yeah.
Which it could be any combination. But in this case, I guess to prove our point, to get us right, it doesn't really matter which way which way it works, as long as all of us are right.
Yeah.
Right. Because if it trash, it's a reason. And they need to change the narrative and stop trashing men. Not all men are a-holes. Oh my God.
Don't start with that now.
No. And it leads me to another discussion that
You want to go into that now?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. So me and Scott had mentioned something about how social media influencers are pretty much making Hollywood go down in a downward spiral. And it's not all of them. It's a certain group that pretty much is getting casted by doing immature things or getting clout. And you're like sitting back and you're like, all these roles that supposed to be for the arts, the actors, they're not getting it because you have people that have no experience whatsoever that get these roles. And you know what the production companies that cast these people have to do to make sure that they are relevant? Mm-hmm. They have to pay for their acting roles.
Yep.
Acting classes.
They have to pay for the Instagram influencers acting classes, yeah.
Just to be relevant. And it's not trying to clout these people or talk bad about them, but part of it is Hollywood's fault, and the other part is kind of the people that views them fault if they're not buying viewers or followers.
It's interesting. Also, yeah, Andy Signor from Popcorn Planet. So, but anyway, go ahead, bud.
But it's just the fact that we got so much talent that's not being utilized, and Hollywood is running after followers. and following. And my thing is, y'all make somebody, y'all can give people followers just by them performing and giving them a shot.
But we're also in a society where the followers do help lead somebody to go watch something. Like now we saw an example last year where it didn't really work, putting celebrities in The Mandalorian, Lizzo. You know, they put big high names like Lizzo being an influencer and a singer and stuff, and didn't use their talents either. And, you know, they had missed opportunities, but they did it because, like you said, the social media following. Because if somebody says, oh, go watch this movie, and they've got millions of subscribers, or, you know, that's one of the biggest reasons why people went and watched the Five Nights at Freddy movie.
Mm-hmm.
Just for the simple fact that the two spoilers, but it's been out for a while. But the two YouTubers were in it.
But
Matt Pat's a big fan of FNAF anyway, though.
Yeah, but I'm going to say something about Matt Pat. Matt Pat have experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a theater kid.
Yeah.
There's other people that was pretty much those that were in Five Nights at Freddy that were social media influencers have experience in acting.
There were actors in that movie that were not right for the roles.
Yeah. But because of the following, some people just went because of them. But guess what? At least they had some type of acting experience. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about the ones that don't have any type of acting experience, and Hollywood just said, okay, let's just cash this person and basically have him acting classes because he doesn't act. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Finish your thought. I just want to throw one of my own when you're done.
Oh, and they don't act. So guess what? Let's just pay so it could cover the fact that so we could hide the fact that we just casting a person that has 1 million views, but the person can't act.
That's why you get them that's why you train them.
But you're not.
What you actually do is what you did with Mandalorian, where you take someone that has no experience like Lizzo, and you put them alongside someone who has decades of experience in Jack Black. So Jack Black can carry the dialogue of Lizzo.
Yeah, but that's a lot of carrying.
To say nothing of basically the physical appearances on anybody, including myself here.
No, I'm saying even with that, you could still tell she was not acting well.
No,
yeah, but it was not script.
This brings me to my second point. We are in a fast food generation when it comes to content. It doesn't really matter basically the staying power of any product now. It's a matter of basically scoring quick cash, jacking up the stock price, and then moving on to the next thing. So it doesn't really matter that Lizzo was in this thing because you know what? We'll throw Lizzo into something else. You know, Megan Thee Stallion in She-Hulk.
Yeah.
You know, we got the torch.
What do you say about Megan now?
But my point is the fact that you didn't really get like you said, you're not getting Megan Thee Stallion or Lizzo. You're getting Megan Thee Stallion or Lizzo's social media following because it's easy promotion. They can just throw out a tweet on there, check me out in this. It jacks up the rating. It jacks up the view count. You know, if you put something like that in there and, you know, in this generation where people have the staying power with content of nanoseconds now faster than ever, you know, you can easily just fire people out in stuff like this regularly, you know, throw them in, you give them a SAG contract, you throw them a couple extra bucks here and there, but you're buying their social media following. And you know, one of the things that drives me crazy is sometimes you see this with a lot of casting notices on casting networks where you see, you know, note social media following and how many you've got. You know, now I haven't used my Instagram in like 2 years. I still have like 40,000 on there. It was at 57. It's about 30 at this point, 40,000. I can throw that in there and say, I have this, and people won't even bother to look. They'll be like, oh, okay, cool. You know, yeah. I mean, this is one of those things that unfortunately, this is the generation for good or for, in many cases, bad. You know, cream will rise to the top. But in this case here, if you don't have that cream, you're not going to rise.
Right.
And that's the new cream.
Mm-hmm.
What you're saying is I need more cream.
Hmm?
Like I've only got like 700 some odd in my Instagram.
Yeah, I know. And that's the bitch of it, where you have to pay a social media person to take care of your account, build the numbers, get everything going like that, to give yourself the clout that makes it worthwhile for them casting
Look,
people
I
to look
just
at.
need 1K on everything, and then I could work it on my own. But
Oh, yeah.
there is that threshold.
But
Yeah.
I do know what you guys are coming at, because when I say the amount that I have, it's not a big following for TikTok, but I have 30,000. When companies see that, I have been reached out. What I mean by that, Ryan, is, to me, I don't feel like 30K is enough to be sponsored and stuff. I personally believe that. I feel like you should have 100,000, if not more, just if we're talking about hiring from a social media aspect. That's how I look at it.
Non-union day player work, that's more than enough.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I throw that number and they're like, okay, here's free merch.
Yeah, they do that too.
Tag us in a video, so it is interesting, the world we live in, that social media can make or break a person too.
This is my hot button, and I'm gonna go off on this tangent. Taylor Swift. The NFL is very happy that Kansas City won that game. Not so much that Kansas City won that game, but more Baltimore lost that game. But either way, they don't care, because Roger Goodell is like, you know what? We are going to milk that Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce teat for every dime we can get out of it until they break up and their lives are miserable. But we'll make money.
I got a theory.
Because a film theory. But yeah, this case, like I said, the Super Bowl now has Taylor Swift's Instagram following. And the Super Bowl, I think, is going to have the best ratings ever, because you're going to get a bunch of Swifties who don't even know anything about football. I don't think it could be at the game, because my understanding, when someone bitched me out about this the other day, that she's going to be over in Asia at the time. But you're going to get a massive viewing just because basically, Taylor Swift's boyfriend's going to be playing. Go ahead.
Actually, it's funny that you said that. Yes, she does have a concert in Japan, but someone did a video and they did the logistics of the time difference, because they're 14 hours ahead of us.
Mm-hmm.
They did the legitimate time, and if she leaves after her concert, she can make it in time. She'll make it back on the Super Bowl's on the 11th. She'll make it back on the 10th at midnight and still have time to go to the concert.
She has something in Australia.
A helicopter into the stadium? Like, what is it?
Doesn't she have something?
No, like, she'll have an extra day if she leaves at and we all know she's got her own private jet too. So, but what
Kansas City Chiefs are now America's most hated football team.
Who?
What, the Chiefs?
The Kansas City Chiefs are now America's most hated football team.
So I was gonna say, a quick theory that I had is, I feel like we're gonna see Taylor Swift in the Deadpool 3 trailer as Dazzler.
Yeah, because boy, if you're going to get an Instagram following, that's how you do it.
You think it's going to be Dazzler? I thought it was going to be Lady Deadpool.
No, she's supposed to be Dazzler.
I can see her.
We don't know yet.
Dazzler was a dancer anyway, so it kind of makes sense.
Well, we don't know yet. We really don't know yet, because there was rumors that she's supposed to be Lady Deadpool, but then again, there's rumors that she's supposed to be Bedazzler. We don't know.
Just so on the nose. Like, they've been trying to make Dazzler happen for God knows when. It's like,
well, either way,
I didn't played into it though that Taylor Swift was maybe Dazzler in one of the old X-Men Origin movies or something like that. I think they had her stand in or cast in for that.
I just think she's gonna, because of the fact that the Chiefs won, and the fact that you're gonna put the Deadpool 3 trailer on Super Bowl. I have a feeling we're gonna see that but that's just me thinking of a marketing standpoint too.
Yeah, like I said, I was desperately rooting for Baltimore to win that game.
Oh, I've been rooting for any team to beat the Chiefs for years, because I'm in a state, if you don't root for the Chiefs, you're a terrible person, because I only live 4.5 hours from Kansas City. So therefore, even though I'm in Arkansas, we don't have an NFL team. We have the Razorbacks, that's a college, but everybody out here is a Chiefs fan, and I'm a team that's never gone to the Super Bowl team, and that's the Bears. But we don't talk about them.
Dude, look, we're in Giants and Jet Nation. We feel you.
I don't care.
Well, Giants, Jets, and Cowboys.
We'll just go do the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but the Cowboys are garbage anyway. So
yeah,
the Cowgirls, yes.
Yeah, the Detroit Lions went 0-16 this century, and they still had more trips to the NFC Championship than the Dallas Cowboys have. in the 21st century. Dude, I'm sorry. The Chiefs and the Dallas Cowboys are the most hated teams in America.
Okay,
To be fair, Scott wasn't here to
what's going on here right
correct
now?
you, Day, when we talked about it. So therefore, Scott has all the ammunition right now.
But anyway, back to original point.
Yeah.
I don't think, I mean, I understand. I don't think Day is wrong here because the system is now, how big is your following? Not about let me cast you based on your talents, but let me cast you based on your ability to promote our product. Which if you have a good following can make you a lot of coin.
Yeah.
Which is why Instagram, social media people can command big money because they know that everybody's trying to promote their shit. And yeah. Welcome to the world. Welcome to the real world, she said to me condescendingly.
And it's sad. Like I said, it's like it's making it harder for all artists now because let's say you can't get those type of people to follow you because either A, some of them don't know you, B, some people just want to watch to see you fall, or C, it's just that those people don't care about you because what do you have to offer? Yeah. And I'm going to bring this up as one of the biggest things. Like there was somebody from the UK that had a bucket full of crap.
Literally or figuratively?
Huh?
Literally or figuratively?
Literally.
Okay.
And on their platform, Subway, they dumped it on a random person.
Ew.
I'm like, if somebody did that in New York City, people say, oh, he'll go to jail. No, that person would not live.
They'd be wearing the train.
They'll be splattered on the train.
Speaking as someone who saw a homeless guy's bare ass a week ago, as he was wiping himself on a subway and dropping the paper towels on the subway floor.
Rob, aren't you jealous you don't live over by us?
What's that?
What? Yeah. What's a train? What is a train? What's a train station?
That was the PATH train from New Jersey into New York from Manhattan, for a Paul Rudd film called Friendship, by the way, with also the guy that was the voice of Ugly Sonic, whatever his name is, Tim Robinson, I think. So
yeah, Ugly Sonic.
But anyway, when the train finally showed up, 35 minutes late, and I'm freaking out on time. The first thing I saw was basically this dude in his Cleftal Horizon. So, but anyway, on that note, I did have something that I want to mention that showed up in the private chat. It wasn't meant to be. It meant to be as a bit of a surprise, but you know what? Screw it. These guys know about it now anyway. Right. So somebody possibly to my right in this camera sent me a little nugget of a doodad. See if I can do it this way. There we go. This, by the way, in case you're wondering, Sharon Baird is the original Frodo Baggins. Sharon Baird was the actress from the Ralph Bakshi 1978 Lord of the Rings. So the first Frodo was a woman, by the way. How funny is that? So this, thank you. So this still shot that was done here was autographed. It was done from an event that Rob was at last year. He sent it out to me. She sent, signed on there, says, for Scott, enjoy Sharon Baird. And in parentheses says Frodo, because that was the original Frodo Baggins. Rob, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. It came also with a little doodad in here too. I'm just going to turn it like this to be easier. Do that way. So it's also the original Rankin Bass Bilbo in there too. The greatest adventure is what lies ahead. So anyway, that was a cool thing.
Yes.
We got to interview her
yes.
on the channel, and she's one of the original Mouseketeers. She
was, yes, that's right. Yeah, it was the same day that you interviewed Jerry Mathers, aka the Beaver. And my never approving mother-in-law watched that video and she watched the interview with Jerry Mathers, and she's like, "That's it. I expected it to be better than that." I was like, "Cool, thanks." I'm just gonna bitch that one out there.
But next time you can go out and meet the celebrities.
It's all right. Doing the right thing, getting brownie points in heaven here.
Wait, what?
I'm getting brownie points in heaven by doing the right thing for my mother-in-law.
Hey, if hell is forever, then heaven must be a lie. So you're good there.
But yes, that was my thank you gift for one getting me press in that event. And I knew how much you like Lord of the Rings, and I had a little extra funds, and I said, you know what? So, we're gonna get that for Scott. It took forever to ship out, but he got it just in time.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I returned the favor because now you have access to Pensacon coming up in like a week.
Yes, which I do have a ride. So we're good.
By the way, yeah, you have.
What you're saying is we need to bribe you. I understand now. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Okay.
No, yes. So we're doing Pensacon, and there's a guy from Elf that's gonna be there, and yeah, I'm excited.
Well, you got more than Ninja Turtles again, so but we'll talk about that as we get closer. Yeah. Gentlemen, do we have anything else left?
Yes.
What's up?
No, I was asking if you have anything else left to talk about.
Do you have anything else to talk about for this?
Other than that, everybody already know Wednesday. Be on the lookout on YouTube. There's going to be a review on a non-spoiler review on the Amazon premiere of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I'm going to do it.
Nice.
I'm going to check it, tell you whether it's something to see or something not to watch. But
to see or not to see, that is the question.
But I always tell my audience, once you look at it, I tell you now, no matter what I say, do your research, do it for yourself. If you feel like you still want to go see it, go right ahead. If you want to take my advice, I'm not pulling your neck, but just make up your own opinion.
Fair enough. So, cool.
Outside of that, the only other thing I would have for the movie channel would probably be, well, I mean, you said you're going to go see Argyle, so you'll get the advanced screening of that. I'll probably have a review for Has Been Hotel by the end of this week.
Okay.
Because the final 2 episodes will probably be premiering this Thursday, which I hate that they have been releasing 2 episodes at a time, especially after they released 4 episodes at the beginning. Like, you could stretch it out if you wanted to, but no, you just want it over and done with.
To be honest, I wish all the episodes were just dropped at once of every show.
No, you can't do that.
Drop off an episode and forget it exists.
Well, on social media, you can't just throw it out like that.
Depends on the show, because there's some shows that works, but there's other shows that doesn't work doing 1 episode each week, because they're like, for example, the Percy Jackson series. It's been good, but it's a show that should have had all the episodes dropped at once, because it makes me not want to keep watching each week. It makes me want to watch it all at once.
And nobody watches Disney Plus anyway.
But that's why they're doing it like that, so people keep coming back to Disney Plus.
So they have
but nobody's coming to it in the first place.
Whereas with this, every episode has had a banger song on it that has gone through social media and catches on TikTok, catches on Instagram, just to be replaced by next week's.
By the way, one thing I need to mention for Severance fans, Severance has started up again. Season 2 has 3 episodes left to film at this point. So, finally getting that back up and running again. Huzzah, huzzah.
Oh, and I thought about you, Ryan, this week because the GalaxyCon that's in Oklahoma announced the voice actresses for your show that you were just talking about.
Oh, they've got Has Been Hotel people on?
Yeah, they're going to be at GalaxyCon in Oklahoma City in May.
Nice.
So I thought about you because I was like, okay, maybe go meet those
people. I feel like the end of this episode is kind of just dragging a little bit as we're just talking about nonsensical
stuff. Yeah, we're just promoting.
Anyways, so my name is Rob. That's Ryan. That's Day. And that's Scott. And this is Tales from the Film Set.